Hey guys, what's up? It's Meezy, and today's video is a coding question video. It's my first one. I am going to do a series, I promise, and I'm also going to finish my JavaScript series, don't worry. But yes, so it's going to be the first one of that. I'm starting off, I want to say I'm starting off easy, but I don't want to say that because for some people this problem might not be easy, and that's perfectly fine. It is what it is, okay? Whatever level you at, this video is for you, and it's not too crazy, so that's why I chose it. And if you have something nice to say about the video, please post it below in the comments. I love it when y'all leave nice comments. Don't forget to subscribe, share the video if it helps you out, and let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so here we go. So here's our question. Given an integer n, write a function that prints values from 1 to n. If n is a multiple of 3, print fizz instead. If n is a multiple of 5, print buzz instead. If n is a multiple of 3 and 5, print fizzbuzz instead. So this is a really popular question for interviews, and we refer to this question as fizzbuzz. So let's just start writing it. So our instructions are pretty plain and simple. They want us to print numbers, and if it's a multiple of 3, 5, or 3 and 5, then we want to print out a string, fizz, buzz, or fizzbuzz, respectively. So the first thing we need to think about is how we are going to print all these values, and in order to count up to a number, we can use a for loop. So let's go ahead and start writing our function fizzbuzz, and it's going to take in a integer n. I'm gonna try my best to draw these curly braces, but you know, it's a skill that I need to level up on, drawing curly braces. All right, so for loop, so we want to say for var I equals, and we want to set it equal to 1 because right here in our requirements, it says we want to go from 1 to n, so be careful on that. All right, so I equals 1. Let me do that so y'all know that's a 1. 1. I is less than or equal to n because we want to count up to n, and then I plus plus because we want to increment I by 1 each time. I'm so upset about these curly braces, but we move on. Like this is the other way I draw a curly brace, and then my teacher used to draw like that. They're very hard for me to draw. All right, so we need to check if as we go through the for loop, we need to check if I is a multiple of 3, 5, or 3 and 5. To check if a number is a multiple of something, we use the modulus operator. And this just does division on two numbers and then returns the remainder. So if we do 1 mod 3, we would get back 3 because 1... We would get back 3 because 1 is not divisible by 3. But if we did 3 mod 1, then we would get back 0 because 3 is divisible by 1. Alrighty, so with that being said, let's write our first if statement. Now, let's think for a second before we start doing that though. We are trying to print a full string fizzbuzz if it's a multiple of both numbers, but we only want to print half of a string otherwise. So knowing that, we need to start with this constraint, right? Because let's say we try to do this. So we say if I mod 3 equals 0, and we print fizz, and this is just pseudocode, and then we say else if I mod 5 equals 0, then we print buzz, and then we say else if I mod 3 equals 0 and I mod 5 equals 0, print fizzbuzz, and then we say else, we just want to print I. So if we were to do this off the top seems like a great solution. If you did it in if you thought about it for 30 seconds, you'd be like, boom, got it, no problem. The problem is that once we hit 3 or we hit 5, we're going to break out of this loop and we will never hit this, right? Because if something is a multiple of one of these, is of either 3 or 5, then it's going to be a multiple of both. But with the way that our if statement is set up, we will never hit this last one because we have hit one of these. And then, of course, if it's not a multiple of either one of those, then we'll hit this, which is perfect for that case. But for the case of 3 and 5, we'll get the wrong answer. We'll always get fizz. So basically, we will always be printing out fizz for a multiple of 3 and 5. Now, for a multiple of 5, we will still be getting buzz, right? So let's try this with 15. If we do 15, we'll say 1, 2, fizz. And then let me switch colors. All right. So if we do 15, let's test this with 15. Okay, I'm writing with a crayon. So let's test this with 15. So if we start at 1, we'll get 1. We'll go through, we'll get 2. We'll go through, 3 is a multiple of 3, so we're going to print fizz. We can go to 4 now. And then we go to 5. Oh, 5 is actually a multiple of 5. So is 5 a multiple of 3? No. We go to the next one. Is 5 a multiple of 5? Yes. So we're going to print out buzz. Now we get to 6. Is 6 a multiple of 3? Yes. So we print out fizz. And then we go to 7, 8. And now we're at 9. Is 9 a multiple of 3? Yes. So we print out fizz. We go 10. Is 10 a multiple of 3? No. Is 10 a multiple of 5? Yes. So we print out buzz. Then we go 11. Now we hit 12. Is 12 a multiple of 3? Yes. So we print out fizz. 13, 14, and then we hit 15. Is 15 a multiple of 3? Yes. So we print out fizz. And this is the wrong answer, right? We stopped because we hit this right here. So let's go ahead and fix that problem. Okay, so in the first round, we got our if statements a little mixed up, which led to chaos. So let's put them in the correct order now. So to avoid the issue that we just had, let's put if I mod 3 equals 0 and I mod 5 equals 0. Then we want to print, and since we're using JavaScript, we are going to console.log the string fizzbuzz. Don't forget to put your quotes, otherwise you will get an error that says fizzbuzz is undefined, and you'll be like, what? And then you'll realize that it's trying to print out a variable fizzbuzz, and you don't have that defined because you were trying to put out a string. All right, so next we can check if I mod 5 is equal to 0. And if it is, then we want to console.log buzz. And it doesn't really matter what order you put these in at this point. For the 3 and the 5, it doesn't matter because it's either going to be a multiple of both or a multiple of either one. And you want to make sure you do else if, because if you just had if by itself, then it would hit each consecutive if statement, right? So if this, then we're going to console log that. And okay, we have another if statement. So if this is true, we're going to console.log this as well. But that's not what we want. And so that's why we use an else if. Okay, so else if I mod 3 equals 0. Sorry if my handwriting is a little messy. This is my 3rd time filming this, so my hand is getting a little lax and a little tired. And then otherwise, so we'll just say else. So if none of those conditions are true, then we just want to console.log I. Okay, and this is another place that you could possibly make a mistake. You might think to put in right there, but since we're in our for loop, we need to use I. Alrighty, so we got our for loop, and let's go ahead and close it up. Alright. So that's all of it, and we can go ahead and test that out. So let's do it again with 15. All right, I'm going to skip over the numbers that are not multiples of anything once again. So we got 1, 2, and for 3, we're going to say if it's a multiple of both, which 3 is not, we're going to skip. If it's a multiple of 5, 3 is not, so we're going to skip down. If it's a multiple of 3, then we log fizz. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to continue for, we got a multiple of 5 now with the number 5. So we're going to say buzz, and the next number is 6, which is a multiple of 3. So we're going to print fizz again. And then I'm going to put a comment so we know what numbers these are. Now we got 7 and 8 and 9 is a multiple of 3, but it's not a multiple of 5. So we're just going to print fizz. And then 10 is a multiple of 5, but it's not a multiple of 3, so we print buzz. Then we got 11. 12 is a multiple of 3, but not a multiple of 5, so we print fizz. And then 13. And then 13, 14, and we get to 15, which is a multiple of both 3 and 5. So we print fizz buzz. Okay, so normally after you finish, you're like, okay, great. You test a couple inputs. We're just going to do 15 for the sake of time. But you could test, like 3. You could even test 0. Now, we don't have a 0 case here because our problem says 1, so we really don't need to test for 0. But if we wanted to take it the extra mile, we could catch an error for if a user enters 0. So yeah, just test as many inputs as you have time for until you're confident that your solution works with any input. And so the last thing I want to do is talk about how one way we can improve this, which jumps out to me, is that this loop or this condition right here, if something is a multiple of 3 and it's a multiple of 5, then that would mean that it's a multiple of 15. So instead of having to check 2 conditions, we could just check the 1. So this could be replaced with I mod 15 equals 0, and that gets rid of some logic that we have to do, and so that is an upgrade that I would make. So we are done with our problem. We have solved fizzbuzz. Congratulations, you are one step closer to being a great programmer or a great interview taker, however you want to put it. Thank you so much for watching. If this was helpful, please make sure you like and subscribe. If you have requests for any other questions for me to solve on my channel, please leave them below. And I know there's different ways to solve every problem, so if you have a way that you like more, feel free to leave it down in the comments, help somebody out. And I think that's it. So yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.